Hello there, and we are live.
Yep.
You are welcome to today's program, and it's just gonna be a very friendly one. As you can see, the background of the person who has just come into the interview. He's a Chelsea fan, and I can see all the old smiles all over his face. I will just give you a brief introduction of this person. This is Osagie uh, Izekor, and is a Chelsea fan at heart, uh, and he's a resident in UK, and he's joining us today. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Osage. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you,
please
bro.
just tell us a little bit about your
Well,
roots with Chelsea Football Club and who
man,
you are
I've been a
technically.
Chelsea fan for a very long time, and I always tell people that I've got blue blood, man. I've got the blue blood in my veins. Yeah, I love.
Yeah.
I think
It's all
the main reason why I love.
the blue blood is sipping right through you, right?
No, the reason why I love Chelsea, Chelsea really matches well with my philosophy as a person. The club itself, the
Yeah,
way they operate, everything about how they go about their business, the football business, the entertainment, the
yeah,
philosophy in general just tallies well with who I am. And man, my
yeah.
philosophy in the house is if you're not a Chelsea fan, you can't be in this house. So my generation, my full generation, I
Exactly.
like it.
Yeah, that was a good one. I really
You
like
have to
that
be a
one.
Chelsea
So
fan.
I
You
so
have to be a Chelsea
so right now you're telling me like your wife is a
fan.
Chelsea fan. Is that what you're
Bro, I'm saying every single human being in this house is a Chelsea fan.
saying? Man, that's a very good one. Osage,
Yeah.
this is the first week of the English Premiership. Uh, you saw what happened, all round. I
Mhm.
know you're a Chelsea fan, but it should also be very good for us to, just have a look at the scores of
The opening week.
other Premiership matches before we come to Chelsea,
Yeah.
where you would actually give us a briefing on what you think about that match.
Yeah.
The season opener was Arsenal
Crystal
versus
Palace.
Crystal Palace,
Yep.
and as you know, Arsenal went into the den of the lion
Mhm.
at Selhurst Park. Can you give us
Difficult place.
what you really thought as a Chelsea fan, and knowing that you guys haven't really played yet, and it was on a Friday.
Mm.
Just give me an analysis of what you went through as a Chelsea fan at the time you saw that Arsenal won that game by 2-0, and also give us an analysis of what you thought about that Arsenal game.
To be honest, I think from the preseason when you guys lashed us 4-0, man. I think I think that was
that was a big one, right?
no. We were battered. We were battered. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
from that game gave us an understanding of what this current lineup, Arsenal lineup, would be. I think
yeah,
Ateta has finally gotten something that will work for him, because it's
yeah,
been a struggle. The coming in of Jesus, Zichenko,
mm,
and Saliba, the guy at the back, men,
yeah,
those were
yeah,
perfect recruitment. So, and you have the likes of Jesus, who is very sharp in front, and the
yeah,
guy at the back is Saliba, isn't it? I mean, he is
yeah,
he
yeah.
is he is
Saliba,
a rock. That guy is a rock.
Saliba.
I said, so now you have a good mix. Your midfield, all the guard, oh my god, all the guard boxing the mid. As in, he's just you've got a very good lineup. So from that 4-0, that game we played you guys and you last just 4-0, I knew
Yeah,
Arsenal was going to be a run over this season. So and the
this
opening
season.
game with Crystal Palace, again gave us a clear glimpse of what we'll expect from Arsenal. The second
Yeah,
half wasn't really all that, to be honest, because I would say that the second half exposed a bit of cracks within the team.
Yeah. The level of the level of the game dropped drastically. At
in the
the
second half.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So again, to be honest with you,
yeah.
I don't see Arsenal as a threat. You guys just need to do well to stay within the
No,
Europa.
are you serious now? Like, are you serious now?
I know. I'm trying to wake you up.
Are you serious now? No, no, no. See, yeah. This is a kind of like a friendly one, between
Yeah.
me and you. Chelsea and Arsenal, the rivalry is not really that too deep.
No, it's not
We're
deep. It's
still
not deep.
friends at the back
Yeah.
door. It's our noisy neighbors, that we have a very,
Tottenham.
very big rivalry with, and a very, very big problem with. Just like of our esteemed guest we had here on the Minority Report
Yeah. Yeah.
this week,
Yeah.
from Tottenham,
Hmm.
Deji Spores. I'll be
Yes.
having a showdown with him on Wednesday again.
Okay.
Tottenham won their game, so that's going to be a very tense one. I hope you watch
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Wednesday. But Chelsea over, we've been beating you guys, in recent
Bro,
times
bro,
for
bro,
some
bro,
time.
bro, 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 bro.
I take pride in saying that, and and for you guys to come from that 4-0 throbbing in the preseason, and everyone started looking at your team, Chelsea Football Club, as
Hmm.
a team in disarray. And then you guys answered this weekend. We'll touch right back to that. But when we're talking about that season opener with Arsenal and Crystal Palace, Osage, you do know that Chelsea lost points with Crystal Palace last season, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think South Park is not a place to go to and think you can just run. I think look at all the big teams.
Yeah,
Liverpool, City, everybody struggled. As in, if you go to South Park, it's not a place to go to and just think you will close your eyes because those guys can just turn the game on you. So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's the more reason why that's your opener 2-0 against them at South Park it's honestly that was a big 3 points. You see what I mean? And I know Crystal Palace, their style of play and what Vieira is trying to create for those guys, just like Brentford, you see, because
yeah.
when they lock up, when they close up on you and they
Hmm.
try to break you down using the likes of who's the guy on the left again? Is it Zaha?
Yeah,
When those guys break you down and try to run you down from the flank
yeah.
and
They have a lot of technical players. Like,
quick
for
players,
instance,
yes,
Wilfred
yes,
Zaha is this kind of fast, pacey
yeah,
winger, winger striker, anyone you want to call him. But
yeah,
he's very, very pacey, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
he's that kind of
and the
forward
physical
that
too.
always
Yeah,
want to run in between defenders.
yeah,
He's that kind of winger that wants to cause chaos,
definitely,
in and about the 18-yard box. And
yes,
as defenders, if you're not really careful of that kind of forward, you can be confused. It can
mhm,
leave you in a dazzled state that you might
exactly,
have to commit fouls in
yeah,
the 18-yard box. And
yep,
mind you, Vieira, just like I've seen in his team, even when Vieira was also a player in Arsenal, he
yeah,
was built in this mode of
yeah,
being a strong 6 foot tall guy, who
definitely,
was a very,
definitely.
very big bully, in the midfield. And
Hmm.
seeing him in Crystal Palace, I think he's translating exactly what he did
Definitely.
in Arsenal
The
as a
style.
player.
Okay,
Right
yes.
there, he's building Crystal Palace as his image and likeness. Or what do you think?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think and he's doing well. He's doing well. But and again, you can't actually take out the part of skill when it comes to the team play. Obviously these guys don't have standout players like the likes of Haaland, Darwin
Talent,
Nunez, Salah and these other guys. So
yeah,
they're a team. So imagine when they start having the money to bring in some of these standout players now
yeah,
that can
standout players, yeah,
yeah, that can just bring a bit of flavor or flair into that
flavor of
team play.
flair,
You see what I
yeah,
mean? It changes the color
exactly.
up completely. You see
Yeah,
where I'm coming
because
from?
they,
Look at
they
what
really had
this.
they really had problems at the 18-yard box. They
Yes, that's what I'm
never
saying.
had a
Yeah.
goal poacher, because if they had a very prolific goal poacher, it
The
would have
second
been a very,
half,
very
they
different
would have
case.
scored goals.
it would
Yes.
have been a very, very different case.
Yes.
Just like
Yes.
you could see, their engine is running. You could see Eze. You could see Eze. You could
Good
see
footballer.
Zaha running. Through that flank, and even in the other flank, you could see Ayu cutting in between. These
Yes.
are strong players, and
Mm-hmm.
in their defense, they have a Dakore.
Yep.
Dakore, who's there, very strong,
Very
tall,
strong
bully.
defender. Yes.
Yeah. So it was technically a very, very difficult game for
Yes.
Arsenal, uh, and as we all know, Selhurst Park is one of the most difficult places to go,
To go
to
there.
go to for even the biggest teams in the
Mm-hmm.
in the league. I know, me and Ryan, a resident podcaster for our YouTube channel here, will be discussing in depthly about the Premiership, and and the technicalities involved in all the scores, this weekend. But I want to seize this chance to mock our rivals, I definitely know you, Osage. I know you would love to take a pop at Liverpool today. Please just
Oh man.
take your time to
You
give
know,
me a grand mockery of
to be
of, of
honest, right?
Liverpool.
See, the truth is, Klopp is a good manager. We can't take that off him, right?
You all know that.
I think
Yeah,
I think the beauty about the English Premier League is no matter how good you are, right? You can
yeah,
just have a very, very bad day at the office. They were lucky to walk away from the match yesterday with 1 point. You see what I mean?
exactly,
No, no, they were
exactly.
realistically they were
Yeah,
they were lucky because Fulham, they
yeah,
came gone blazing from the beginning.
exactly,
Liverpool didn't know
exactly,
what was happening to them.
exactly.
You see
You
what I
know,
mean? And if
yeah,
not for the fact that Mitrovic scored two, he would have scored. He
yeah.
would
He
have scored
scored two
three.
goals. Yeah, and he's
He
a
would have
tall,
scored three.
imposing striker.
You see what I
Uh,
mean? So
yeah,
they were ready. They were ready to tear
we're
Liverpool apart.
ready.
But remember what I was saying. When you now have these standout players now, these names, these
Yeah,
big names.
these names.
Nunez, what happened? The defense, Fulham defense, they were scared of him. So whenever he arrived at the interior box, they're scared. Whenever
Yeah,
Salah arrives at the interior box, they're scared. So that fear factor was what helped Liverpool. And Klopp knew that. So he had to go all out in the second half. So
but but look at this disrespect. Klopp came out after that game, and uh, he opened his mouth and he said the pitch was dry. That was why.
no,
Like
no, 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 no.
what?
Hold on a minute.
Like what in
What,
God's name is going on here? Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
bro?
When you
That's
draw
the
a game,
psychology of
the
football,
pitch
isn't
is
it?
dry. When you win the game, you're title contenders. And this is the problem I have with podcasters these days. They will never tell you the truth. Like, how can you go into Craven Cottage today? People,
Mhm.
and Fulham is just coming out from that championship,
Yeah.
and they ought to go there all guns blazing. They played all their
100%.
big
Yeah.
guns. Nunez was there.
Mhm.
Mohamed Salah was there. Their big hitters were there. Uh, why won't you go into Craven Cottage and get the 3 points?
I think the question is why did you put Darwin Nunes on the bench for the first half? You go in. You see, that's why I like Pep. You see what he did today? Pep
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because he
exactly.
won't wait. He won't wait for you. He wants to kill the game. He would look at. He took out Haaland at 70. Was it 72 minutes or 73 minutes?
Yeah,
Took out Haaland.
73rd minute or
He
so.
he
Yeah,
he would kill the game first, then take
yeah,
out the players. You don't start playing, and that's the issue I have with Tuchel at the moment. You see what I mean? So when we talk about Chelsea, then I will have to analyze it. Yesterday we were just lucky because I wasn't really happy with the game yesterday, honestly, because you don't start playing. This is the English Premier League. You go all out, get your
yeah.
points, win your game, then start playing whatever psychology you want to play. First
You
team,
want to
first game for
play?
game, and let's leave there. Because we know this season is, I don't think this season is going to be a very unique season. You will be
Yeah,
shocked. You see, like when Leicester won the league,
yeah,
you see,
Yeah.
We might have another surprise this season. It's very
This
possible.
season. Yeah, Osage, this is what I'm telling people. This is what I'm telling people. Like, why are we so scared? Why are we so scared and so fearful about Liverpool and Man City? These teams have taken a hit. Mane has left Liverpool. Whether we like it or not, this is Nunes' first season in Liverpool.
Yeah.
He needs that time to adapt. Yeah, he's a good forward, but he needs that time. Strikers. There's a
Mhm.
lot of strikers, that have been humbled by the Premiership.
Yeah.
You understand that. You have
Yeah.
more people understand that. You come from a club where it humbled most of them. The Shevchenkos. The Lukaku,
Morata,
the
you
Morata,
name
all
it.
of them,
Even Mr.
they've all been
Lukaku.
humbled, and Chelsea have taken, that big hit most of the time. So I'm not saying that Nunes is going to fail or he will find it difficult, but I'm saying he needs that time to get used to the English league. Uh, Liverpool found it very, very difficult to cope with the intensity of Fulham. Uh,
Fulham, yeah.
I still do think that maybe probably it's just because of this is the first game of the season. These new teams, they are eager to
The
show.
underrated Fulham.
Exactly.
The
They are
underrated
eager to
Fulham.
show
And
who
that's
they
why
are and what they're capable
Pedro.
of doing. Just like
Yeah.
what Brentford did to us last season. You remember that game, right?
Yeah. They humbled you
Yeah.
guys. Because in EPL, you don't, and that is why I said I'm very, very concerned with Tuchel. I understand that he went through a lot of turbulent times, at the tail end of last season. I don't know if you're aware that, he was dealing with divorce and proceedings
Yeah,
over his
divorce.
wife.
But
You
come
know,
on now. I heard I heard I heard
bro.
it was seen in about in London with a tall
When
brunette
you
looking
go,
good and enjoying his life. Come on, man. He's a millionaire. He has to enjoy his life.
yeah, man. So what I'm saying is, you
Yeah.
see, with English Premier League, the
Yeah.
psychology aspect of the game has a huge effect on outcome, has a
Yeah.
serious impact on outcome. So don't underestimate any team. Klopp did that, and I hope he's learned his lesson. He knows because he said it. He said this is one of the worst games they've ever played, and they played really, really badly, and they were very happy to walk away yesterday with 1 point. So I
With
know
that
he
one
won't be doing
point.
that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
won't be
but
doing that again.
but I have a problem. Osage, I have a problem with mainstream podcasts and fan channels uh propagating this message of fear that we should be afraid of Liverpool, that we should be afraid of a Manchester City. And I don't think so. I
No,
actually think that every team in this league right now is ready. Maybe probably apart from Manchester United. I'll come to that later. But but every team, every team, every team has has a role to play this season. It's not going to be an easy one where you just
no,
come up and
no.
and beat anyone anyhow. What do you
Everybody
think?
wants to make money.
Every
The clubs want
exactly
to make
fact.
money. These
Yeah,
players now, every player in the let's just use the so-called smaller teams. They want
yeah.
to go up now to the bigger teams. Look at Cucurella now. He's happy.
Yeah,
You know,
no, that one will take a special time when we get into
okay,
the Chelsea into the Chelsea game. But we still have lots of
look at the
stuff to
Fulham
talk
team,
about
bro.
before we get into Chelsea. What would you
Let me,
say about our big rivals? Oh, we have a message here. Big up to Chelsea and Arsenal for getting the win in two difficult games from the United
United
family,
family.
and that's Ola. And Ola is a
Ola.
resident. Is a second partner here. Is a resident podcaster
Nice one,
here.
Ola.
He's
Thank
from
you.
Manchester United. So we will be having a very, very frank chat next week, Thursday, when we meet and clash at the rival show. So that will be a very, very big one. Osage,
Yeah.
Jude Iradia says Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal needs to protect him.
Thank you.
He may just be the one to ensure they secure the fourth spot this
One hundred
season.
percent, 100%.
What do
I
you say
agree.
to Judy Radia? Judy Radia, big
No, no,
ups
no.
to you.
Big up Judy Radio. Thank you for tuning in. I told you. I said Gabriel Jesus, Saliba, and
Yeah,
Odegaard.
yeah,
You can see that their impact is already making a huge difference now in the
a
team.
huge difference.
So
Yeah,
if Arteta fails to manage these three players properly, that might just be the end of your season. And you
Hmm.
see, this is now the difference between Arsenal,
Yeah,
Man City,
yeah,
Chelsea,
yeah.
and Liverpool. We're now talking about strength in depth, right? Because
Strength in
strength in
depth.
depth is going to come as a play a huge part about and in how well you perform this season. Talk about the five
If we're talking about
opposition.
strength in depth,
Yeah.
we have to talk about that in the Chelsea team. I
No,
still don't think Chelsea have lots of strength in depth, but I'll come up there. Osage, what do you
yeah.
think about Tottenham uh, uh, completely obliterating Southampton at home?
It was
In the White
expected,
Hart
Tony.
Lane.
It was expected, Tony. Conte. I think that guy is still not getting the accolade that he deserves as a manager.
Yeah, yeah. He
Look at
was your
look at the
former
signing they
manager.
did.
He lifted the trophy for you, right?
Yeah, look at the signing they did. If they
Yeah.
completed their signing way before
Way
everybody started,
quickly. Yeah, yeah.
he knows what he's doing. Tottenham is a force that we have to be mindful of. Those guys are
Exactly.
good. I'm looking forward to
Exactly.
our game on Sunday. I think that game will determine whether or not they can now, unpack a good team like Chelsea. Because this is
Yeah,
Southampton. We shouldn't forget. Southampton, obviously, on a bad day, you can beat them 7-0, 6-0. We understand that.
yeah.
But when Tottenham plays Chelsea on Sunday, then we will get to understand whether or not Conte has found the team that he needs.
But you think? Do you think that Southampton will be in that relegation battle this season?
To be honest with you, Arsenal might even be there. Chelsea might be in the relegation battle, bro. As in the way this season,
Yeah,
anyone, if you snooze this season, you will
this
lose, bro.
season.
So
I perfectly agree
everyone
with
needs to
you.
be on point.
I solidly agree with you. Just look at what Manchester United did today. I was so shocked. They with a low quality Brighton
Right
team
inside.
that has been weakened
Two goals in
by
9 minutes.
by the exit of Bissoma to Tottenham, and yet
And
Manchester
Cucurella too as well.
United
They
could do
lost two
nothing.
good players. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do nothing. I was so shocked about that game. But what do you really think are the prospect of Tottenham this season?
I think top four is a guarantee. Is a guarantee
You
for
sure about
Tottenham.
that?
Yeah, I'm very sure about that. Unless something happens, obviously injury.
Yeah,
You see? Yeah.
I really pray that one or two injuries, come up for Kane and Kulusevski because those guys, yeah,
And I believe that the same thing the Tottenham fans are praying now for
yeah,
Jesus and
praying,
Odegaard.
yeah, that Jesus gets an injury, yeah. We don't pray for a bad one, but just
Yeah,
those
yeah,
little
I know.
niggling ones that we keep Kane out of the game because Tottenham looked frightening
Bro,
this past weekend.
they
It's
they they are, they are
unbelievable.
strong. They are strong.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah,
look at
yeah,
their 11 again. As in the front three. Let me see. Let's pull out the front
yeah.
three.
Of course, their front three was Kane, Son, and Kulusevski.
Oh,
You know,
listen, man. As in, it's crazy, and the back
yeah,
they look so solid.
exactly. And
Sessignon,
Richarlison didn't
Sessignon,
even start,
Sessignon,
so
Sessignon
yeah,
was another one that he looked sharp. He was running the
yeah,
left flank like he was just enjoying himself on the pitch on the day. And what he
exactly.
was doing was pulling a lot of the Southampton defense to himself, creating more space for
More
Son and him
space
to just play
to run
around
the
and
show
cause
throughout the
more damage.
game. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
Kulusevski as well. I think it was a very, very, very good game. And knowing that they were playing 3-4-2, right? I want to see
yeah,
how, sorry, 3-4-3,
yeah.
three four
3-4-3.
two
Yeah,
one. Harry Kane was in front. You
yeah.
had Kulusevski and Son behind Harry Kane. I want to see
Hurricane.
how they will
Yeah,
cope when they play against like a 3-4-3. You see what I
yeah,
mean? I want to see
yeah,
how that will pan out because clearly they'll be able to hold the midfield, and you won't just have two players behind the striker, right? You
behind
have
the
three
striker.
players running at you. So we'll
Yeah,
see how they will cope with that, because that will have to now stretch Son and Kulusevski, as in,
and
and pull
Kulusevski.
Hurricane backward. You see,
Yeah,
we pull
yeah.
Hurricane backward. I want to see how do we cope with a formation like that. So
Like
that was
that
why I'm actually looking forward to our game on Sunday. So
on
that will
Sunday.
really expose them to see if
Expose
actually,
lots of,
yeah,
yeah,
to expose
exactly.
them.
Hey, we have a message here from our second resident podcaster here, Ryan Maguire, Gunner TV. Yes, guys, good start to the
Good start to the
season.
season.
Nice opening weekend, seeing United put to the sword straight away. What do you say to that? What do you say to that? What do you
Well,
say to that, Osage?
to be honest, man, every rival that takes a hit right now is good
Right
news.
now. Yeah.
Let them keep taking the hit, man.
Exactly,
The
exactly,
earlier they take the
exactly,
hit, the better for all of us, man. As in,
exactly, man,
so
exactly.
it was
Because
fun to watch.
yeah. Because I really want all our rivals. I'm
Mm.
talking now from the standpoint as an Arsenal fan. I want all my rivals to take a hit because most of these teams, yeah, most of these bigger teams are showing a very huge disrespect to this,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this mid-table teams. The disrespect is too much, and
Mhm,
it's just time, like for a team like Fulham, for a team like Leicester,
mhm.
for a team like Aston Villa to to step up,
West
turn
Ham.
it up a notch,
Yeah.
and stand up to these teams,
Yeah.
and try not to be bullied by them.
Mhm.
So I want to see a Chelsea team go to Craven Cottage and struggle.
No, it will happen. No, it's been happening. Realistically, it's been happening. You see what I mean? So it's not
Yeah,
new. EPL, we see this all the time. The thing is, when you start bringing in the big names, look at what
yeah,
Alan did today. You see what I mean? I think
yeah.
sometimes the big names, they still have that huge impact on the game, because
He-
defenders
He's a
see them.
class. He's a class striker, isn't he,
You see what
Haaland?
I mean?
Yeah,
Defenders see them coming, see like Alan
yeah,
coming now, they're scared. So
yeah.
they're not
And they're
really composed.
scared.
You see?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we've seen this happen. But if they can get past that fear, that initial fear that this person is this, and it takes just one bad spell. You
yeah,
see, if Alan can have like maybe 2 or 3 bad run of games where
yeah.
he didn't score and he was just, so defenders will build the confidence and they can face you. That was what happened to Lukaku. That's what's been happening to a lot of our strikers.
Osage, you just brought up something very serious here and technical here. You just talked about the imposing figure of a striker that is very prolific, that faces a back four that is very afraid of him. Now, and I'm now moving into Chelsea as a football club right now.
Mhm.
Do you think if a Haaland is running into your back four, that you're confident of your back four not capitulating at that run?
Bro,
How would you sum up your defense and
bro.
your defensive structure?
Yesterday, the combined age of our three defenders, we had a back three yesterday, was 100.
Yeah, an
Koulibaly,
aging one.
Koulibaly, this Aspilicueta, right?
Aspilicueta. Yeah,
So you now see that experience plays a part. Why would Koulibaly see Haaland coming and be scared? Saliba, your new young defender might see Haaland coming and be scared because of experience. He is good. Don't get me wrong. Skill wise, he's good. But this
but
is
but
where
but
experience,
why would you take a pop at Saliba? He was one of the it was one of the best
bro.
centre backs, if not the best centre back this weekend.
No, but what I'm trying to tell you is obviously skill is not enough when it comes to football, and that is why
Yeah,
a lot of these CBs now, they're scared when they see some of the big names running at
the
them.
big
Like
names
Drogba,
coming,
at the
yeah,
time,
coming at them.
when
Yeah,
Drogba is running at
they're
you,
scared. They're
you see what I
scared.
mean?
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
takes it takes it takes a lot of understanding and experience,
yeah,
and skills, obviously, to be able to stand your ground when you see the likes of Zlatan, Ibrahimovic running at you,
yeah.
Mbappe. You see what I
Mbappe.
mean?
Yeah,
Haaland. You see these guys coming because obviously we're human. That's the psychology is there. Oh, Haaland is coming, he's running at me. You know,
yeah,
someone
yeah,
like Koulibaly, he's seen it. He's done that. Thiago Silva. He's seen
yeah,
the worst, and everyone has. I mean,
yeah.
he's got the experience.
Koulibaly, what would you say about that signing? Yeah, everyone knows that it comes with a very very big reputation, and that's because of where he played for. He played for Napoli
Napoli.
in the Italian Serie A. But we all do know that the Italian Serie A is a very very slow league. It's less pacey. Defenders can be able to, they have that time to
Yeah,
recuperate and get back into it, even if they miss out on the first tackle, or they were not clinically or technically aware of what was going on. They have that time to really mop up whatever, or shore up their defenses. But in the Premier League, it's a different ball game. The
yeah,
players are running at you. They're
yeah,
actually thinking that you're going to genuinely make a mistake.
yeah.
How would you characterize Koulibaly as a signing from Napoli in the Chelsea team? And what would you say about his performance yesterday?
To be honest with you, I think the fact that he had a cramp at about 75 minutes, I think. I,
Yeah. I didn't want to bring that up so
no,
that
no,
you
no,
won't
no,
just say,
bro.
I'm a
We
rival
have to
or
be
whatever, but
sincere. No, we have to be sincere. He had a cramp at 75 minutes, says it all, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
obviously the Italian Serie A, it's low pace compared to EPL. EPL, debatable, I understand that, is still the toughest league in the world. We all know that. And Koulibaly knows he's not a proud guy. He said it. He even tweeted like, now he told himself, "Welcome to English Premier League." He knew what
English
he was
Premier
coming
League.
to. He knew the
Yeah,
challenge he was coming to face. But he's capable. He's ready. Don't forget, this guy is 31. You
it's
see what I mean?
31.
He's
Yeah,
31 and he is willing to take the challenge. But you can see the tackles he made. This is where I'm now saying the element of experience, right?
yeah. It
Sometimes
can't be
can
denied. It can't be denied.
outshine the skills itself. You see
Exactly.
what I
It
mean?
can't be denied. Yeah,
So what
yeah.
he will quickly learn. You see the way Thiago plays. Thiago doesn't
Hmm.
run too much now. So Koulibaly will quickly learn that. Koulibaly is that defender that runs back. He gave the pass to Chua
Yeah,
that
Chua.
resulted in the
Brand Chua.
penalty. You see what I
Yeah,
mean? He made the
yeah,
pass.
yeah.
So that's to tell you that he was in front. So to tell you that he was running back and forth. So
Back
he
and forth.
quickly he gassed. It's a normal thing for him to gas with all the work,
Yeah,
the effort that he put in. So he will now learn to manage himself in the in a typical game. But we
yeah,
know that Koulibaly, Cucurella coming in now, Thiago Silva, Aspilicueta, definitely. Then we still have our young Chaluba. We have obviously Rich James. We're good. If we can get Fafana from Leicester,
from Leicester.
then we
It's
can just say
finished.
yes, our back is sorted. Then we pray we can get Frankie De Jong for our midfield because we don't have a very solid
That's still
playmaker.
a projection. That's still a projection.
No,
But Cucurella today,
no.
yesterday, sorry, he made his debut for Chelsea Football Club. Uh, we all know the kind of caliber of player that he was in Brighton Football Club. How would you critically assess Cucurella's performance yesterday?
I think he only played for 15 minutes. I think
Yeah,
15
not
or
that
17
much.
minutes
Yeah, it
thereabout.
came
Yeah.
towards the end of the game.
I,
Yeah,
I think, to be honest with you, he gave us a glimpse of what he's going to bring in. You can feel the energy,
I
the
feel the
flair.
energy.
You see
Yeah,
the confidence. He was
the
running the front.
confidence was
He was
there.
taking the ball in. He is not scared to confront players. And one thing I like about him, he plays forward. He's not the kind of player
Yeah,
that want to keep playing backward. And he runs the ball.
backwards. Yeah, yeah,
He runs with you. I could see a lot of balance now from our back, and our
yeah.
midfield is becoming really strong. And Cucurella can play different for formations, right? He can play
Formations. Yeah,
back four, he can play back three, so he can play. He's a very versatile player. So and now I see why Tuchel went for him, because initially I was saying, what are these guys doing? Yes, I know he's a good player, but we don't really need this guy. But I didn't know Alonso was leaving, because I thought it was still a speculation, but now it's clear that Alonso is leaving. So obviously
he's leaving.
we know
Yeah,
we have Emerson there. Emerson is there, can still play the left, but I believe Emerson might be leaving on loan as well. But Cucurella, he is a dope signing. He's a is a signing that I'm happy with, to be honest with you. I believe he's going to
Yeah.
make a lot of difference from the left.
From the left, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like what James is also doing,
coming
that
from the
that
right.
overlap,
Yeah, it's
that
very
pacey
important.
wing running and left back running, it scares the hell out of defenders, don't you think?
Definitely,
Yeah, yeah, just
definitely,
like
definitely.
the contribution James gives. But again, I still think that your defense line is an aging one, and you definitely in the next couple of years you would definitely need one or two center backs. Don't you think? Thiago Silva might sail on
No,
to the sunset and say goodbye very
no, even
soon.
right now, Tony, right now.
Aspilicueta wants to go to Barcelona. Is actually twerking for Barcelona. So all these things we don't know what's going to happen at the
No,
end of the
Aspi
day
just
for the
signed two
Chelsea
years now to
backline.
2024, so we know Aspi is staying. You see what I mean? Then, obviously, if
But
we get
but you can't deny that his head is still turned for that Barcelona move, right?
no, the reason was because of the 1 year that our what's the lady's name was giving him that condition. And if you're aware now, Todd Bowley just tore that contract and said no, we're not going to follow that path. So I think he's happy. That was Aspi's concern, because I think from what we gathered last season, they gave him
Yeah,
a criteria that you have to play in a certain number of games, and they have to weigh your performance to a certain level before you
yeah,
can automatically trigger the 1 year extension. He didn't want that. So that's too much
yeah.
pressure on a footballer. And
Pressure on the
I'm
footballer. Yeah,
aware now that Bowley just rolled that over and saying, no, we can't deal. But I'm also aware that Chelsea is trying to introduce the pay per performance structure, the 60-40
structure.
thing, where
Yeah,
40% has to do with your performance and 60% is the basic. I think it's a brilliant thing. It's a brilliant idea, but that can scare a lot of players, and I like it. The players that will be scared by such, arrangement are the players that are not ready to
arrangement.
play. Players that are ready to play, they wouldn't mind, because you just need to
Yeah,
go on the pitch, play your ball, and you get your payment. But
you
if you're
get
not
your
sure of
payment.
coming on the pitch, with your A game, then you'll be concerned about a payment structure like that. So I believe,
Let's see what Ryan is saying here, because this is also linked up to what you're saying. Because what you just said now, you're bringing up the American owner, Bowley.
yeah,
Bowley. That name is
yeah,
it comes as a recurring factor, down here because Arsenal Football Club also have American owners, but it took them time before they could actually settle down in the club and start bringing out their checkbooks. The
yeah,
fans had to scream. The hierarchy of the club were just they just seemed lost without money, bereft of signings, and you can see where it left Arsenal. This couple of years, and
yeah.
now we're having a question from Ryan Maguire, and he's saying, "How have Chelsea managed to get an American owner to spend straight away? Took about 9 years for our own, that's Arsenal Football Club. Took about 9 years for our American owners to pull out the checkbook. Now, in the light of this question,
Yeah.
Osage, what would you say is what would you say is Bowley's contribution to Chelsea Football Club this season?
To be honest, I think we'll start with the philosophy. Remember at the beginning, I said the reason why I support Chelsea is because the Chelsea's philosophy, matches well with mine. And
Yeah,
Chelsea is not just a football club. I think they run the back end operations of the club itself run so well, like the front end that we see, which is the game, the
yeah,
football is playing and winning and everything. And you can see how the organization on the back end now is reflected in the outcome of the front end. The
yeah,
trophies we won. We
definitely.
won it all. You see,
Hmm.
I'm aware that part of the agreement that Bowley's consortium had
Yeah,
with Abramovich before, why they were selected, was
yeah,
some of the terms that they had to agree to, which
yeah.
included the continuous investment in not only
Investment,
the male team, the female team, the academy, and even the community. We do a lot of charity and all that,
charity, and
corporate
all that.
social responsibility, CSR.
Yeah,
So those were part of the things that made the body consortium stand out and why they won
yeah,
it. So, and I
yeah.
believe there was a clause there that they had to agree to, that they will spend this amount of money, even up to the renovation of Stamford Bridge. It was included.
Wow,
You see what I
interesting.
mean? So that
Yeah,
is what is happening. I think he committed a certain figure to buying new players, because obviously Tuchel made his own request known that we
His
need
own
to
request known
strengthen
that he will need
our
money.
players, and
Yeah,
they wanted to look out for who was willing to commit to some of those conditions.
yeah,
You see what I mean?
conditions.
And that is
Yeah.
why you can see that he's spending straight away and doing all that. Yes,
But
and
now that we've just talked about this spending and financing a club, and you just even said that Tuchel must definitely have had his own, say and input there that hey, I really need money to spend. But at the back, at the background and the backdrop of that, when a coach does that, it shows that he might be at the back end of huge pressure coming to him because now money has been made available to you to buy the kind of players that you need. There
mhm,
is definitely pressure, or what do you think? And I think Tuchel is
cool.
really feeling that pressure right now.
No, no, no. Okay, let's start with what Chelsea represents. Chelsea represents winning, just like City, Man United. You see,
Come on now, come on
bro.
now.
So at the end of
Don't allow us turn this into
no, 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 no.
me and
See,
Deji Spurs
we know
because
that.
I'm reserving my energy for
No,
him
no, bro, bro, bro,
next
bro.
week
See,
on Wednesday.
see, because at the end of the day, yeah, that is
Yeah,
why the pressure. You can only talk about pressure when you're talking
yeah,
about a manager who doesn't really understand the culture and the philosophy of where he is. You
yeah.
see, we need
I
to
agree.
continue winning. We can't afford to have a break to say one, okay, we are building, just like Arsenal will say, oh, we are building, we're building for 1 year, 2 years, three. No, no. Chelsea wants to hit the ground running straight away. So cracks were very obvious in the tail end of last season. We all saw that. Chelsea, we cracked. And
Yeah,
Tuchel knew obviously that he needed to fix those cracks. And so if a new season is coming and he needs to
definitely.
get in players that will fill in, cover those holes, I don't see where pressure.
I still think that Tuchel is feeling the pressure. Like
No, he has to feel the
I
pressure.
see him as a figure.
Pep is
Like
feeling pressure.
I see him
Klopp is feeling
is
pressure.
feeling the pressure. Yeah,
Everyone is feeling the pressure. Klopp is feeling the pressure. Pep is feeling the pressure. As a manager of a big club like I will include Arsenal.
I wouldn't say Pep is feeling any pressure. I
You
don't
don't
think
think
if he
so?
doesn't deliver this season, they would sack him. Uh, that's the kind of comparison of that's the comparison I'm trying to strike with Tuchel. Tuchel is
No,
that kind
Tuchel.
of a manager right now that if he doesn't perform with the kind
No.
of amount of money that Bolly has made available, if he doesn't perform, he might be on the chopping block. But
So
Pep Guardiola, I don't think he has cemented his legacy in Man City. I don't think they would sack him, man.
I don't think. Don't forget. See, let's be very honest. This is Tuchel's third season, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's his third season, and in three
Mhm.
seasons, he's won the Champions League, and he's won the Club World Cup, and he's even won the Super Cup.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Three
Yeah.
trophies in 2 seasons. Three trophies.
But is that enough to concern Chelsea Football Club into a very very poor season? If you
No,
have a
no,
poor season this season, do you think that Tuchel would be in the chopping block?
no, no. To be honest with you, if by the end of the season, yeah, we don't. Let's say we fall out of the top four. No, no.
Yeah,
Realistically, if we fall
yeah,
out of the top four, he will
yeah.
definitely be under pressure.
That's
No,
what I'm saying.
realistically, no,
He's under continual pressure
he's
down
not
there.
he's not
Yeah,
under pressure right now. And Tuchel is too good a manager to allow himself get into that position, to be honest with you. So let's have this conversation again mid-season.
mid-season, right?
You see what
Yeah,
yeah, we'll have this conversation
I
again
think that's
mid-season.
just the best time. Yeah, yeah.
You see
I
what I
think
mean?
that's just the
So
best time to actually, uh, you know, assess these teams and see
their
their
performance and what's happening.
performances. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
And I really do think that injuries to players will be a very very deciding factor this season.
100%.
Uh, Many clubs haven't found their bearing when it comes to having squad depth.
Mm.
Do you think Chelsea have done themselves any good in having, that squad depth that gives you that gives you this kind of like confidence of going into the next game, knowing that if, for instance, James is injured or Koulibaly is injured, that you'll be rest assured that you have enough defensive cover to cover such unforeseen circumstances.
I think that's the reason why at the moment we're still pushing to sign for Fana. We need that. We need
Yeah,
backup.
you really need that, Tiny.
We still have young Chaluba there. We have young Chaluba there. Obviously, that can still play. If Rich James is not there, and we
Yeah.
know Aspilicueta can play the right wing as well. If
Yeah, and
Chaluba
you do
comes,
you do have Gallagher from Crystal
we
Palace.
have Gallagher for so
Yeah, you
we
have
and
Gallagher, and
Cucurella
he's
now
a
the
very good
versatile
player.
player.
Yeah,
Cucurella is a versatile player. So I think we're building, we're getting there. We're not there yet. We're getting there. And don't forget that this is because we are trying to use the players that are tested. Don't forget we just signed in Chukwuemeka Kani. We just
yeah,
signed
yeah.
Chukwuemeka Kani
But he's a
from Aston
youngster,
Villa.
in it. He's a
Yeah, but
youngster,
again,
in
that's what
it.
I'm saying. We're saying what we're saying now because we are only focusing on the players that are tried and tested, the let's say the experienced players now. But we have
Yeah,
these very talented players like Chukwuemeka Kani. We have um even Boja, we have a lot of players in front. If you're talking about
yeah,
strengthening our front
yeah. That's true.
options, we have loads of options.
Yeah,
Lots of Odoi wanted to leave now because these guys know that with what we are assembling, a lot of players will not get play time. So that's why a lot of them want
yeah.
to now go to get play time somewhere else.
Somewhere
Even
else,
Billy Gilmore,
you can
he's a
see your
talented.
player that moved to Roma, uh,
What's his name? Abraham.
Abraham, Tommy
Abraham.
Abraham.
No,
You
he
can
Tommy,
see, and
Tommy, Tommy.
he has, he has littered up the Italian Serie A.
Here you go. And don't forget that Lukaku is on loan. We still have our Lukaku. You see
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
Lukaku.
So we
Yeah,
can easily call on these players whenever, because I know obviously there will be clauses there, just like we wanted to activate a clause for Emerson last season, but they refused. So I believe that we have the strength in depth. But what
yeah.
we need to build now, Tuchel needs to now establish his first 11, his regular plays. Because one of the issues we had with Tuchel last season was he was changing players too much. Look at Klopp. You're almost sure of your first 11 that will face
Of
you.
your first 11.
You're
Osaka,
almost sure of your first 11.
you just hit the nail. You just hit the nail where I
But
wanted it
Chelsea,
to be hit.
we don't know who's
Many
going to
of all
play.
these coaches, they don't have a standard 11. You have to have your standard 11. You cannot be
Because that's the
experimenting
chemistry.
in
They
the
need to
middle of
build
a
the
prem
chemistry.
of the premiership. You
Yeah.
can be doing that, and that's why I've taken I'm keenly watching Mikel Arteta, because this season is a very, very decisive one for him. Uh,
Mhm.
he has to come up. That back four that we have right now should be a mainstay.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any changes. We need this, that back four to be a unit. They have to
Yeah.
defend as a unit, and they can, when they play more games, they can be able to get to know more about each other, play with each other,
Mhm.
and just generally, gel with each other while they're
Yeah.
playing. And this comes with more playing time, more playing
100%. Yeah.
together, yeah. And when you've gone to battle with the same kind of back four that you
You
have,
understand? You build the
yeah,
chemistry. You know what to
yeah,
do. You
the
know when
chemistry
this
is
player is
there.
running forward, I know what he's going to do next.
Exactly.
That was one of our biggest problems last season. And that was when we started thinking that Klopp was losing it. Because obviously he was having his own personal issues with the divorce procedure
Yeah,
going on, even with the sanction on Abramovich as well, with everything happening to
with
Chelsea at the
everything
time.
happening. Yeah,
We had to just give cut the players a slack, understandably. But this season, because he was doing the same thing during the preseason, and I was like, what is this guy doing?
doing.
How can you establish your first 11 and know the team that when you put out to play, they are going for the kill?
They are
You
going for
can't
the kill,
achieve that when you keep, rotating players. Okay, let's
rotating.
analyze
Yeah,
our game yesterday. Do you know? I kept screaming, Tony. I was
yeah.
like, Tuchel, can't you see? Move
Can't you
Ryan
see?
Sterling to the left. Move Sterling to the left and put Adverse in the middle.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
do that because you could see that Sterling was so sharp, cutting through. Um, who were these
But
guys
but,
again?
but but I also have a problem with Sterling coming through the middle. Like
No,
Sterling is not a typical number 9. Like
no,
why would you deploy him as your
No,
number
but
nine.
you know why? Because Tuchel is
He's a
trying to
serial
now play
winger.
without a striker. Exactly. Everything you could tell. You could tell that they were getting really wound up now by Sterling's presence in the middle, right? And so if you know that already, we could tell from the way the defenders, was it Yeremina? Yeremina was
Yeah,
getting already
Yeremina.
wound up now by Sterling's
Yeah.
presence. So if you know he was doing that, move him to the left so that he can take like two or more defenders with him to the left.
Defenders
Then he
away
came in.
from him, and in doing that you need fast players that run up from the midfield and help the attack. And when I saw a
Exactly.
player like Kovacic on the bench, sitting down on the bench without him coming up to play, I found that as
Even
something that
Gallagher.
Chelsea really missed. You really missed that pace from Kovacic yesterday, don't you think?
100%, we did, and that was the issue I had with Rich James as well. He was sleeping. Rich James was holding the ball. Rich James was really what we know him for is holding the ball, moving quickly. Moving this ball
Yeah,
quickly and making the passes. Kante was another one yesterday. I think something is not right with Kante. They were holding the ball for too long. They were not letting the ball out. We know Jorginho is his style to hold the ball, take his time and everything, but the likes of Rich James and Kante, we were expecting more pressure, from them. But I think it was because Sterling was coming in a lot, to take the ball from the midfield. So maybe
yeah.
they got so relaxed. And that's what happens to some players when they see a very skillful player in their midst. They always want that player to do the job. But if you don't have very skillful players, look at Mount. Mount played a
Yeah,
good football, but that he was far from his best on the day. You see
yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah.
I was even more concerned about Tuchel's strategy when Broja came in. Broja is a
Yeah,
striker. Why did you now move him to the left and you still left by Sterling in the middle?
in the
At
middle.
that point, you should have
Yeah,
moved Sterling to the left. Now put Broja in the middle and let's see what this young kid can do.
you
You
can
see?
do.
So
But there's also one very very big situation that Chelsea find themselves in, and I don't think you guys have even addressed that situation. And it's the situation of Kante, and this is a very very dividing. It's a dividing kind of situation because N'Golo Kante has always been this cool, calm, collected kind of player for you guys.
mhm.
He has been that kind of go-to player when you need inspiration and when you need that calm head in the Chelsea 11. Uh, do you have this feeling that Kante is aging? Like,
100%, man. Yeah,
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 because,
yeah.
because I've heard it from a
His
section
legs are
of the
inconsistent.
fan base of Chelsea
Yeah,
Football Club. Uh, Don't you think is
yeah.
aging?
Yes, you can tell. You can tell from his stamina, the way he runs. He doesn't have that burst of space that helped him. Because he used to run people ragged in the midfield. His interceptions were next to none. Like he was just everywhere. You see Kante everywhere on the pitch. But
I mean,
sometimes he
Claudio
begins to show.
Claudio Ranieri always told one story about him always running, always running. He never stopped running.
Yeah,
But I see Kante in a Chelsea shirt, and he has just stopped running.
no, he's aging. I think that was spot on. He's aging, and he knows. And
Yeah,
I think that's why Tuchel is trying to manage him more now. And we shouldn't forget the injury he had last season. You
yeah,
know, at a
yeah,
toll, and that's the thing about. Look at the likes of this Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
yeah.
Ruben, I think he was very good, but from the time he had that, is it a back injury? He has never been the same player.
I think it's a
And what
hip
happens
injury, so
psychologically, when they get that injury, they are a
yeah.
lot more careful. You
Talking
see,
about injuries, what would you say about the only American you have in your club,
Pulisic.
Pulisic?
Yeah,
Pulisic, when he came into that Chelsea team, he lit up that team.
yeah.
And of course, as a Chelsea fan, you would definitely understand what he did, his contributions towards the winning of the Champions League, uh, and the Super Cup or whatnot. After he had an injury 2 seasons ago,
It's not been the
his
same person.
level just dropped.
It's
Did,
psychology. It's
did
psychology,
you
bro.
see
Like,
that? His
yeah,
level
it's
just
psychology.
dropped. He was always a good runner. Of course, you did know Pulisic. He's that kind of player that takes that ball and drives through players.
From
Is a
Dortmund, he was from Dortmund,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. He
You
drives through
yeah,
players. has a keen eye for that pass in the 18-yard box. But
Mhm.
right now, he's stopped running.
It's
You know,
psychology. It's psychology because what happens is like I'm not an expert when it comes to psychology, but I understand that when
yeah,
something happens to you for the first time, you see,
yeah,
like kids, right? They take risks and do what they want to do, but the moment something happens, an incident happens now, so that's consequential reasoning. That part of your brain, they are a lot more careful. Because don't forget that in
careful.
football, one injury can just end your football career.
You can't just end your football career.
You see what I
Yeah,
mean? And especially when they are not at the peak yet. A lot of
yet.
them are still very mindful. And now, when you have like a tournament coming up, like we have the World
Yeah,
Cup, for instance, a lot of players are a lot more careful because they don't want to get themselves injured. They want to play the World Cup.
the World
You
Cup.
see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got another question.
Haaland and Nunes have announced themselves in the Premier League already. Do you think so?
100%.
Okay,
100%.
100%, right?
Two goals from Ireland today. Nunez yesterday, two goals. He scored two goals. No, no, no. He scored one goal.
No,
Then
it's
Salah
not
scored the other
just
goal.
one. Yeah,
But
yeah.
in their preseason, their last preseason
He
game.
was banging in goals in the preseason, and it was lovely to see
So I think we are going to see a lot more of those two players. We're going to see a
this
lot
season, right?
of no this season. We're going to see a lot of, and I love the way they've both settled in really quickly. Nunez flick yesterday. It takes
Yeah,
confidence.
yeah,
If he was doing the flicks, running around, running into space, playing with a lot of flair and charisma,
flair.
showing you that what, this is me. I'm a player. I'm the player that is signed, and I'm a player that they've been waiting for. So that alone, you see, that mentality would
Yeah,
make them bang in the goals. This is what the likes of Timo is lacking. Timo Werner hasn't been able to break through that cloud in his head.
in
He
his
came
head.
from Leipzig banging goals. We knew that this was he was a killer.
Don't you think it's the system that Chelsea plays? Because you cannot just tell me, a winner that has banging goals in Germany,
Mm.
and then you just see him is a shadow of the kind of player that he was in Germany. You can't tell
But
me all of a sudden he's a shitty player
no, no, no. But the ability for you to adjust as a player into different system. Let me tell you the truth. If Pep tweaks his system now, Alan is still going to
yeah,
be in front, and he's still going to be a nightmare to defenders.
to defenders. Yeah, I
And with
totally
Nunez
agree with
now,
that.
I
I
agree.
totally
See,
agree.
Nunez can play from the. You'll be surprised. Klopp might just try one day playing from the left and see how he can be creative.
How he
And he
can
will
be
still be a
creative.
nightmare to look at the way Klopp has been using Diaz now.
Yeah,
You see, Diaz didn't
yeah,
play well
that's true.
yesterday. We understand, but these guys, wherever you play them, a big player who has been able to break through that cloud of fear, and when you really establish this confidence that I am a player, I'm a big player. That
Yeah.
they bring that confidence on the pitch. That's what's
On
missing.
the pitch.
Kai
Okay,
Havertz,
you've been bigging up other clubs, big, tall, and prolific strikers. Let's talk about yours. Chelsea actually needs at least 40 to 45 goals to at least be very, very sure of having that top four secured this season. Sterling is just coming into that team. Timo Werner is nowhere to be found. He's still
he's
dreaming of
leaving.
his blonde girlfriend back in Germany. Where will Chelsea get 40 to 45 goals this season? Where will those goals come from? Osage,
Okay,
please just give us that briefly.
Sterling guaranteed at least 25 goals. You and I know that. Don't argue,
That's laughable. He's just coming into the team,
bro.
and he didn't score yesterday.
No, 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 no. See, like
I
I
don't
said,
buy that, but I'll allow you
Tony,
to
Tony,
talk anyway.
Tony. Yeah, no, it's okay. I said mid-season we'll have this concern again, right? Sterling guaranteed 25 goals. Adverts, Kai Adverts.
Wait,
If
wait, wait, wait. Are you serious that Sterling would carry that Chelsea team
no, 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 we're not
that
going to
he's just
rely on.
coming
No,
into?
we're not relying on Sterling. No, we're not relying on Sterling. And the thing about Chelsea, okay, you know what? Let me be realistic. Chelsea is
Okay,
not a club where, you know, I think during Drogba's time, Costa, so we had that
imposing
presence,
figure in the striker
You
department,
see
right?
what I mean? So you can say, but since then, Chelsea is not a club where you expect one player. I think there was a season where we had over 8 or 9 different scorers. So
Scores, yeah,
Chelsea is a club where everybody can score. You see what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I would let me drop that down. But
But
obviously, Sterling.
it still depends on the kind of team
But
you're
but
playing. You're not a Manchester City. You're not a Liverpool
no, but
Football
we're
Club
Chelsea.
that
We're
have
not Man
technical,
City. We're not
gifted
Liverpool,
players
but we're
that could be
Chelsea,
able
bro.
to run the show.
Let me ask you a question, Tony.
Yeah.
Who is the team that can really unpick any team? Forget about scoring now. We say play and pick a team. Who is that team in the whole of the English Premier League? Be realistic with yourself. Forget about scoring now.
What? I don't know. For
Okay,
me, I
which
would say a
team?
Manchester City.
Okay,
For
okay,
me,
okay. No, City, yes, but okay, after City, what other team can really open up a team? Can pick a team?
Liverpool. For me, Liverpool.
And okay, after Liverpool.
Arsenal.
You see, you're laughing. You know, bro. I wanted you to mention Chelsea because if you're saying the top 4 team, if you want to mention the top 4 team in England that can open up any team when it comes to open play, Chelsea is there. And one thing will be lacking is obviously goal scorers. So
Osagie, the jury is out on Chelsea this season. I still felt that you guys lost a couple of games to the running of the end of last season. Uh, I thought you guys were quite weak and tired. You guys were struggling to put in the goals. It was very very difficult. Yes, you've managed to do good business this transfer window, but I still think you have an aging defense. I still think you still need a very very good engine room down that midfield. I still think you
mhm,
have to rehabilitate Pulisic and try and impose Kovacic into your game because he brings a different dimension into your game. His role play in that game, the way he runs, Pulisic, but the way he tries to help offensively would be very, very instrumental to players like Sterling. If Sterling
yeah,
is to run deep into that number 9 position, and it also depends on the state of mind of Tuchel, if
yeah.
he can be able to deploy a Sterling through the flanks, I think it will
It's a
help
fact.
Chelsea very very much because
Yeah.
it will drag players to him.
Players out.
Because
It would drag players out.
he's that kind of player. He's
Tony,
that kind of
Tony,
skillful player.
to be honest, yeah, I think to an extent I agree with what you just said, yeah. But on the other side, I don't really agree that we have a lot of aging players and they're still on top of their game. It's just like you bringing in age now when you're talking about Ibrahimovic, Zlatan, or you're talking about age when you're talking about Ronaldo or these guys. Obviously, age is telling on them.
You have a Thiago Silva who has played his best years in a PSG.
Mhm.
Aspiqueta, well, I don't
No,
need to
no,
say
they're running
anything.
out. They're running
We've
out.
just
They're
talked
running out.
about Kante right now. These
But
players, they are
our
aging.
problem, our problem is our front because what is happening? We're absorbing too much
Too
offense.
much pressure. Yeah,
Because if our front players are keeping those midfielders busy in front, and
yeah,
we won't absorb. And don't forget that last season, Tony,
yeah.
almost 1/3 of the goals we conceded were self-inflicted. You
It's
understand?
self-inflicted. Yeah,
So, which means the players were not in the right frame of mind. I think the issue here, Tuchel needs to get those players together. It's not about the players
yeah,
now. He needs to
yeah.
first get himself together, get the players together. Look at what we just said. Just the mere fact that everyone watching that game yesterday knew that just moving Sterling to the flank would have
To the
changed that
flank
game
would have
completely.
changed that game drastically because he's that kind of enigmatic player that would drag players with
It
him,
would drag players
and
out.
free up space, at the other end of the 18 yard,
There you
of
go.
the 18 yard across the bylines and those kind of striking positions that could fix Kai Havertz in a very very
There you
open.
go.
Open play and can get some good goals. What would you say about the demise of Lukaku? Do you think you're missing him?
No, we're not missing him. No. I think the one thing I don't even like about that player, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. I think
Yeah,
something about players' mentality where they give up just too quickly. You see what I mean? Because
yeah,
sometimes you have to understand the season you're in and what's happening around you and see how you can help. But I didn't see that from him. And all I
Yeah.
was seeing was he was just thinking about himself. Oh, he wants to go now, he wants to go. He's not being, you need to understand. And I don't think Lukaku's recruitment was from Tuchel. I think that was just a decision that was made.
Suddenly now everyone wants to reject. I don't know, but what is with clubs just accepting the fact, club and fans accepting the fact, take responsibility that you made a mistake. You,
Bro,
you,
bro,
you
bro,
have to
bro.
own it. You have to own it. No, because I'm tired of these excuses. A club came out and said the pitch was dry. You are now coming out and saying it's not a signing.
At the
Tottenham
end of the
Hotspur,
day,
Conte came out and said, "Hey, Dredge, no, 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 it's the club signing." These excuses. I don't want it this season.
well,
Everyone should take
I know with all the
responsibility.
banter, this is not a banter between Chelsea and Arsenal. Coming from the Arsenal club, the chief of excuses. No, no, let's leave it. No, 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 no. Like you said, this is not the avenue for banter. So I will
Talking
just
about
pretend.
Chelsea and Arsenal,
Yeah,
I,
I
I
will
heard
pretend that
Chelsea.
I did
I
not
heard
hear what you just
Chelsea
said.
is twerking of the idea of getting Aubameyang. That your fan base is twerking for Aubameyang. How true is this? Are
But
you
again,
twerking for Aubameyang?
bro, it's not the first time. When we signed Fabregas, we said the same thing. We signed
Yeah,
Fabregas. He was your captain at the time,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We signed him,
yeah,
and you see what Fabregas brought to Chelsea.
yeah,
Aubameyang is a good striker. He's
yeah.
a good striker. You agree with me? He didn't just click so well with not
Suddenly,
your
he's a
bro.
good striker.
No,
Like
he's a good striker.
this is
Okay,
the kind of inconsistencies that I don't like from
no, 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 bro,
from
bro, bro.
mostly my North London rivals. But even Chelsea is now part of that. You suddenly like
Tony,
Aubameyang
Tony,
is a good
when
striker.
Aubameyang was playing for Arsenal, was he a good striker?
He was, but he lost his form. He
Now you're
lost his way.
touching. Now you're touching. No, say, was he a good striker?
He was a good striker, but he lost his way.
He lost his way. How and why?
He just lost his way. He was out of form and he wasn't performing. And Mikel Arteta gave him chance after chance after chance, and he started disrupting the harmony
Of
in
the
of the harmony of the team itself. And Mikel Arteta doesn't like divisive factors. In his dressing room.
At the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that he's a good striker. Morata stayed with us for how many seasons? I think about 3 or 4 seasons. It was
Yeah.
rubbish. But do you know Morata now is one of the most prolific strikers now in Serie A? We all know that. I think sometimes players leave and they rediscover themselves. So the fact
Themselves,
that
right?
he was having a bad spell somewhere as a result of a lot of other factors that we might not be privy to know. You see what I mean?
Okay.
It
So
doesn't
he'll
change the
come to
fact that,
Chelsea and he'll be that angel you
well,
guys
let's
deserve,
see.
right?
Let's see.
So you're twerking for him, definitely. Oh my God.
Let's see.
Osage, you could see time has already gone. You could
It's been a
see
good one,
it's
man.
it's it's fun to talk with you. Like say it's more than an hour past, and I hope you grace this show again.
No,
With
sure.
with you, my calm London fellow London club. It's calmer to talk to you. But next week I will be at war again. With next week I will be at war again with Deji Spores as he comes around to grace the minority report.
Report.
It will be a very very tough one as always. He always brings the heat. That's why I like that man. He's a great guy. Uh, Osage, do you promise your subscribers that you're going to come here again
Yeah, sure, sure.
quite
I'll
soon,
be
so
back
that
here.
you could,
Yeah, I'll be
uh,
back here.
you
I'll be
know,
back here.
so promise the subscribers right now that you're
I,
gonna come.
I would not have this promise, but I'll be back here.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we want to
yeah,
banter.
yeah.
I, I
Sure, sure.
want, I want to be back here as soon as possible. But again,
Yeah.
mid-season, I really want to be back here mid-season so we can just, do like a
No,
recap.
you're coming here before mid-season. No,
Yeah, yeah,
at least
sure,
from
sure.
time
I'll be
to
back
time.
here.
I know you're very busy. I just want to make this things clear to viewers and lots of subscribers here. We podcasters, we have our own lives. We do different things. He works. I work. I have my own 9 to 5 job. And then we just work during the weekend for talk about the clubs that we like. Many people have day jobs here. So definitely people would have different schedules on how they plan their time. So that's why it's very, very difficult to get clearances with people. You have to ask them at what time are they okay to come to a show. So, Osage, I'm really grateful for you to come to this show.
You're welcome,
And
Tony.
please, I want to see you again,
Yeah, sure.
next 2 weeks or even next week if you have the time. You're a
No
friend
worries,
of this
man.
show.
Yeah.
Even apart from this show, Osage has been my friend for close to nearly 10, 13 years.
Yeah.
Up to 15 years, right?
Yeah. Silver
Yeah,
bed.
up to yeah, it's up to 15 years, so it's a long time. So, I hope you really grace the show again, my brother.
Sure, man.
Yeah,
Nice one,
good,
Tony.
good.
Nice one.
Yeah,
It's been a
thank you
good
very,
one. It's
very
been a good
much.
one.
And everyone, you will be having because right now we have our resident podcasters around. From next week, we'll be having the Ryan and Claude show. It promises to be a good one. I give you a taste of what Ryan Maguire is all about just this past Friday. You can understand and see what it's all about. It's all about the technicalities. It's all about what's really give teams their win, their win, and how they really structure themselves to play. That's how technical he is. So you'll be joining us in the Ryan and Claude show. Our second resident podcaster, Ola from the United family, will be joining us during the week on Thursday, where we'll be having our show. I think 7 p.m. British time. That promises to be a different, a very, very different one, because he's a Manchester United fan. So you guys better gear up for that one. It's called the Rival Show. So, man, we have lots of programs to keep you captivated. And on Wednesday, I will be sending out the flyers. I'll be going down on a showdown with Deji Spores, the sports fan. The I'll be with him on Wednesday. It promises to be a very, very eye-catching one. If you thought that the first one was fairy, you just have to wait for the one on Wednesday. It's going to be very, 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 very fairy. So thank you very much, Osage, for coming to the show today.
Thank you, Tony, for
I
having me.
really, really hope to see you next week. I
No, no
might
worries.
drag you out next week, but
We'll make it
let's
happen.
see
We'll make it
what's going to
happen.
happen because
No worries.
next week is a very, very tough one against Tottenham Hotspur. So
Yeah. No.
I definitely have to talk to you about that because
We'll see. We'll make it
there's
happen.
no other resident Chelsea fan here. So
Yeah.
who else than my friend, to answer those tough questions. So see you next week or next 2 weeks when you come here. And
No worries.
thank you, viewers, and catch you later.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.